Alright, we got messy hair, we got messy makeup, we got messy clothes. That seems like the perfect setting to do Q&A. Hey guys, how is it going? Katie here, back with another video, and like, oh my god, my cat's trying to eat my food. If I eat food during this video, does that make it like a mukbang? Because I could definitely tag it as that. I love pasta. If you had told me that my return to YouTube would be because 8 million people saw me dancing in an airport with my cat, probably wouldn't have believed you. Or I would have, because that also kind of sounds like something I would do, because I kind of do dumb things sometimes. But I'm glad so many of you found it funny, and I'm glad so many of you have questions for me about it. I tend to find myself pretty boring, so I'm pretty excited to... People are texting me. I tend to find myself pretty boring, so I'm really happy that you guys actually have questions for me. That's so exciting. You know, like, I like talking. I like the sound of my own voice. I like answering questions. Bowie's eating his food, and I hope the mic isn't picking it up. I'm just excited to answer some questions you guys have been asking me. I've been getting a lot of DMs lately, and I haven't been able to answer everything because, you know, that would take literally so long. But anyways, I love pasta, I love answering questions, I love the sound of my own voice. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Quick disclaimer, I wasn't able to get to everybody. I got a lot of questions, and a lot of them were the same questions, so if I don't mention your question specifically, it's nothing personal. I just tend to kind of loop them all together. Also, I'm not going to answer anything super personal in this video because there's really, you know, things I want to keep private about myself, especially since so many of you follow me now. I'd like to have a little piece that's just for me and for my life and things like that. And most likely all those personal questions that people ask me will be answered just within following me or experiencing me in my day-to-day life. So my apartment is very loud. I'm moving soon. But anyway, let's start. I'm ready to eat pasta and tell y'all all about my life and my dumb video of me dancing in an airport. So I asked on both Instagram and Twitter what questions you all had. So I'm just gonna go through both and see what y'all have to say. I'm just gonna go right on through. Okay, so a big question was, what kind of law do I plan on practicing? A lot of people asked me this, and for those of you who don't know, I do go to law school right now, and I was getting on a plane to return to law school when I filmed that video. I don't really know what kind of law specifically I want to do. Right now I'm really into like sports or entertainment law. I find that really fun, and I'm really into sports. Like, I love watching sports. I'm horrible at playing sports, so but I love watching them, and I think that there isn't enough women in the sports law industry, and I'd love to be able to change that. So right now that's pretty much what I'm leaning towards. But I'm also open to basically anything else, you know. I'm just gonna test the waters and see what I like. This is a good one. Favorite movies / series. So my favorite movies, if I had to list, oh, this is so hard. So if I had to pick my favorite movie, it would probably be Wedding Crashers. Not for any reason other than it's just like a big comfort movie for me. When I'm sad, I watch Wedding Crashers, and I can watch it continuously and still really, really love it, and I can quote it from start to finish. So that would probably be my like favorite movie. I also love Wes Anderson movies. The Grand Budapest Hotel is probably my favorite from him. It's just so dry and funny. I love Hayao Miyazaki movies. Howl's Moving Castle is probably one of my favorite movies of all time, and then of course Spirited Away is like the best animated movie of all time, let's be real. I loved Spotlight. That was a really great movie. If you haven't seen it, it's so interesting and makes me really want to become a journalist. I'm trying to think of what else I really like. I don't know, I love a lot of movies. I can tell you what movies I don't like, which are horror movies. I never watch them. I'm too much of a big paranoid baby. I can't even watch the commercials, like it's really bad. As for series, I love Game of Thrones. Oh my god, the final season's coming up and I'm probably gonna just cry every single Sunday because of it. I love watching anime, so the series I'm watching anime-wise right now are Fairy Tail, because there's a new episode of that every Saturday. every Saturday. As well as Food Wars, I like Boruto, I love My Hero Academia, oh my god. But who doesn't love that? Bowie, please don't play with the candle. That is a bad idea. Okay, just lay on the PS4. This is where he likes to sleep. Don't know why, but he loves to sleep there. I don't get it. Don't play with the candle, dude, you're not gonna be happy. You're gonna burn your whiskers off. Okay. I also love RuPaul's Drag Race. I love Westworld. I like Tidying Up with Marie Kondo, and I like Queer Eye. You know, I have a good variety. And that question was from Code Beta. So thanks for the awesome question. They also asked me, has the sudden fame caused negative/positive changes in your life? I would say it's been mostly positive. Like, people have been really nice and open and have said that the video has made their day or made them feel really awesome. And I love that, and I love making people happy, and I love the fact that so many people wanted to follow me and talk to me and get to know me. That's definitely some positives that came from it. Plus, Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and stuff have always been things that I find fun and just a fun hobby more than anything. So I think it's awesome that people are enjoying that with me. Negative changes, there aren't that many. I will say it did get kind of weird because I went from posting kind of just for myself and my friends to now like there's so many people following me, so there was like a lot of pressure and it was kind of overwhelming. Plus I have anxiety, so it kind of made that escalate a little bit, but I'm channeling it into things I enjoy, which are posting on Instagram and filming YouTube videos. So it's really changed into something positive as opposed to like overwhelming and crazy and surreal. Yeah, but thank you, Code Beta. Those were good questions. Horror_guy asks, ever thought about streaming games? I would love to stream games. I would love to do a gaming channel. I think it's so fun. I love watching gaming channels. I think they're funny and cool and interesting. I'm not the biggest rager is the only problem. When I play games and I get frustrated, I tend to be like, oh, you fuck, like I'm just like silently angry. I don't really rage, but who knows, maybe if you turn a camera on me, I'll suddenly come out of my shell when it comes to gaming, but I would love to do that. I think it's so fun. I just have to learn the technology behind it. Why did you pick Hall & Oates? And this is from Nick D. Byrne. I picked Hall & Oates just because I honestly couldn't pick a song I was going to dance to, like I couldn't think of one, so I shuffled all my music and just started clicking through, and then You Make My Dreams came on and it reminded me of like Joseph Gordon-Levitt and 500 Days of Summer, and it's also just a song that I don't think anyone doesn't like it's so fun and happy and uplifting. So that's why I picked that song, and I love Hall & Oates and I saw him live, so it was just kind of all meant to be. What app did you use to make the airport dance video? And that comes from Superficial Hero. I used the iMovie app. I downloaded it immediately after I finished filming everything that I wanted to film, and I did it on the spot. So that's the app I used to film that video. What is it like studying law in the United States? And this comes from Harry Snapey 96. This is actually a really cool question because I was in London recently and someone asked me there what it was like to study law in the US. Apparently he said that in London it's basically kind of part of your undergrad, whereas in the US you need to do 4 years of undergraduate studies and then 3 years in a law school. As for what it's like, it's very fun because you're in a tight-knit kind of group of people. Most law classes are pretty small, but it's also very stressful and very intense because you go from an undergrad experience of having like midterms and lots of exams and maybe some busy work to like you have one exam all year, and this one exam is going to make or break your grade in the class. So it does get a little stressful, but I find it really interesting. You know, I am not very good at math, so I get to ignore math basically for 5 days out of the week, so that's pretty fun. Okay, so this one comes from Jeziel.ch. Hope I said your name right. Pickles or cucumbers? Pickles, all day. I'm one of those weird ass bitches who could drink pickle juice like straight out of the jar. I don't know why. I love pickles, especially the sweet gherkins. I could seriously just like down them. I love pickles. My parents even used to make their own pickles, and so I'd be after those like all the time. All the time. Love pickles. This one comes from L_Erican. Raspberries or blueberries? Oh, that's really hard. I love blueberries and I eat them on more things. So like I will eat blueberries on you know, my cereal, I'll throw them in oatmeal. I make blueberry smoothies basically all the time. I love blueberries in that sense. But if I were just to eat them plain, I would rather eat raspberries by themselves or, what? Oh my God, I dropped all my pasta. No. Oh my God. 1/3 of my pasta could like not be spared, and my angle's probably all messed up now. But yeah, so if I had to pick, I'd probably say blueberries over raspberries just because I eat them more and put them on more things, but I definitely like raspberries better like just by themselves, or like lemon raspberry anything. It's just so good. That tall Kiwi guy asks, what is your favorite cake? So my favorite dessert in general is cheesecake. I love cheesecake. I could eat cheesecake every day if I could, but if I had to go with like a real cake that's not cheesecake, because cheesecake's my absolute favorite dessert ever, I would go with red velvet cake, just because I'm from the South and that's just tradition down there, and I make a really good red velvet cake personally, so that would be my favorite. Okay, so this was a popular question on Twitter, and it's basically, did I listen to Hall & Oates the whole time? Did I listen to different songs, etc.? So actually my headphones did not work when I was dancing. Once I pressed the film button, the sound went out on my iPhone, so I kind of just had to remember the lyrics to You Make My Dreams, which is not very difficult for me since I love that song. So yeah, that was the song that I kind of had to play in my head, but when my headphones were working, I was listening to that, and I was also listening to New Light by John Mayer. Originally, that's kind of the song I wanted to dance to, until I realized that in his music video, he basically does that, and I didn't want to be too similar to John Mayer in that sense. Another popular question on Twitter was, what airport was it? I was at the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. I grew up in Atlanta, and so I'm pretty familiar with that airport. That's why I managed to find a bunch of cool places to film and stuff. So _Dylan_Flauher_, and this is from Instagram, asked, what has been your favorite place to travel to? I have pretty much loved everywhere I've ever traveled to. I tend to find something awesome in every city I've been to, but if I had to pick my top cities, definitely Amsterdam is up there. It's beautiful and it smells like gingerbread and other things. I love London, is amazing. Sevilla, I studied abroad there. I think it's one of my favorite cities of all time. Atlanta, of course, I love. I think it's amazing. New York City is awesome. Lisbon, Portugal is extremely underrated. I love that. Morocco was really cool. I bought a carpet from there, and everybody there is just so nice. I'm trying to think. Oh, Seattle. Seattle's really awesome too. I pretty much love everywhere I've ever been to, so it's kind of hard for me to pick. So next, let's see. Okay, so another popular Twitter question was, what beer was I drinking in the video? I was drinking Blue Moon. I love those kind of light, shandy, pale ale type beers. Just anything that has kind of citrusy notes or is just a pale ale in general. I really like pale ales. Anyway, I just love beer a lot in general. I'm always gonna play with toys now. I'm a beer drinker in general. I don't really like wine. I try so hard to like wine and I just can't. I like Prosecco. Moscato is like too sweet for me, and then everything else is too dry for me, so it's just, wine's not a thing for me. Where did I learn to dance, and do I dance professionally? This has been asked by basically everyone on Instagram and Twitter, and my answer to that is no. I am not professionally trained to dance. I've never taken a dance class in my life, unless you count one Zumba class that I took and I fell on someone and I never went back. But I am pretty good at dancing just like freestyle or on my own, or when I feel the music in me or whatever. I can actually dance much better than in that video. I was kind of just dancing to be silly in that video. I wasn't really dancing to dance seriously, but you know, me trying to dance seriously I think wouldn't have been as funny. It probably would have just caused a scene at the airport. What is my height? I'm 5'4.5". How do you like your eggs? And this comes from Tidge6. I love all eggs. I think eggs are delicious. I am that girl from the Amanda Bynes show who said I like eggs constantly. Like, that is me. I love eggs. I really like poached eggs, but I've yet to master actually making a poached egg. Mr. Penbrook on Twitter asked, did the airport security give you the old stink eye? I thought having fun in airports was generally looked down on. No, they didn't, but I also kind of wasn't paying attention to them. I was a little worried someone would stop me and be like, ma'am, please don't do that. Everyone around you is very concerned. But they didn't. They kind of just let me do my own thing. I'm sure they've probably seen weirder things at the airport than a 20-year-old girl dancing by herself. But how long did it take you to record and edit your video? This was asked by a lot of people on Instagram and Twitter. It basically took me the whole 4.5 to 5 hour period, and posted it pretty much right before I got on the airplane. So it took the entire time to do it. Okay, so this is from CWB. Why did you choose the unusual aspect ratio? It's just what iMovie automatically did. I tried to fix it because I wanted it to be vertical how I had filmed it, but I couldn't figure out how, so that's why. No artistic reason, I'm just really bad with iMovie. So a bunch of people asked this on Instagram and Twitter. What's your favorite music or musical artist? I genuinely cannot pick a favorite. It changes constantly, and as for genre-wise, I really love all of them except probably heavy metal, screamo, and modern day country music. Like, that doesn't work. I do love folk music, I love bluegrass, I love classic rock, I love pop, I love alternative, I love indie, I love pop punk. I really do love everything. I'm one of those really weird people where if you played music, I probably would really like it, no matter what it was. Favorite artists, I probably would say the Beatles, obviously. Who doesn't love the Beatles? The Eagles. I love the 1975 because I'm clearly indie alternative trash all day. I love Lorde. Oh my god. Lorde might be up there as my favorite artist. I really do love her. I think she's a genius, and she's only like 20. I think it's crazy. I love Hozier. I have his album on vinyl. I've seen him live. I've had so many good memories to his songs, so he's really up there. Who else do I love? I'm gonna have to look. I love Miguel, I love SZA, James Bay, Kim Petras. I love Kim Petras. We stan Kim Petras. James Blake, I love. Bon Iver. I love The Killers. I have this weird fantasy where I get proposed to at a Killers concert. I don't know why I have it, but to me that's like a thing. I don't know what it is. Brandon Flowers, if you're watching this, please give me tickets. Love you. I really do love just too many, and this is probably the longest answer I've given because this is so hard for me. I love them all. I love everyone. Joey Z43 asked, what was the best reaction you got from a random traveler? I had this one guy walking by me when I was in front of the information desk at the international terminal. He just smiled at me, and that's really the only reaction I got. When I was dancing with Bowie, people were smiling at me a lot, I think just because they saw a cat, and that was mainly it. So those are the best reactions I got. Witty's one asked on Twitter, Bowie's a cool name, and is he named after David Bowie? Yes, he is. I thought it was a great name. I just really like the sound of it, and I really like David Bowie. So that's another musician that I really like. Gosh. TF Tunney asks, are you running for president? No. That job seems incredibly stressful, and I feel like people who aren't qualified for that job should not try and have that job, and I am not qualified. Therefore, I'm smart enough to know that I should not be president. What does my morning routine look like? Do you listen to podcasts, and if so, who? I might make a morning routine video. I don't think my morning routine is that interesting. I tend to just get up, eat breakfast, and then try and make it to class on time. But I could do that. It's a bit too intense for me to try and explain in a video. Do I listen to podcasts, and if so, who? I listen to Love It or Leave It probably more than any other podcast. That's a big one. I have a friend that does a podcast called Decent at Best that's really good, so y'all should definitely check that out. So yeah, and that is from Mike Gang Penny on Twitter. So good question. So a big one people ask is, how do you travel so much, and how do you save money traveling? So I'm really lucky. My mom works for the airline, so that helps make things easier. But the main reason I get to travel so much is just because I am 100% willing to sleep in hostels or sleep on people's couches, or, you know, spend like minimum on an Airbnb. Like, I will do whatever it takes to get somewhere. I network a lot. I have a lot of friends who love to travel as well. So traveling in groups really helps kill the expense. Basically, I try and get it to the point where I don't need to pay too much for a place to stay. That's like my main priority because I tend to feel like that's very expensive. So my main thing is I try and cut costs everywhere I can. I spend the most money on food because to me, trying different foods from around the world is really exciting and my favorite part of traveling. So I tend to reserve most of my money for that. I'll get maybe one souvenir from each city I go to at most. So just cutting costs that way. And like I said, like, don't be afraid to sleep on some floors if you have to. I have made a lot of friends who live in different countries, so I will try my best to go see them, and I'll literally tell them, hey, I can literally sleep on the floor with one blanket and be fine. And I've had to do that sometimes, and it's worth it to me being able to go to a bunch of different places and see a bunch of different things. So don't be afraid of kind of maybe cutting out luxuries a bit. Don't be afraid to pick some smaller airlines. They're safe. The only difference between a budget airline and a big airline is that the budget airline, you might have to pay for a magazine, whereas the big airlines, they come with magazines and padded chairs and things like that. So once again, don't be afraid to rough it a bit, because that's really where things get expensive, is in like the little luxuries, not necessarily in the trip itself. You know, just enjoy being there. That's really how you save money. Enjoy the moment and don't enjoy like buying a bunch of things or a bunch of material possessions. Just go for the food and the friends and the fun. So yeah, that's how I travel budget friendly, is what I should say. So yeah, that's about all of the questions that I could find. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed making it. I like answering y'all's questions. I'm glad so many people were interested in what I had to say, so thank you all for going to Instagram and Twitter to ask me about my life. I think that's awesome. I will definitely be making more videos now, so if you guys have any questions for me, or if you have any video ideas you want to share with me, just things you'd like to see from me, feel free to leave those in the comments below and I'll try and get to them, and I'm sure you guys have some awesome ideas, so I'll definitely check them out. If you're coming here from Twitter, definitely follow me on Instagram. I tend to use that more than I use Twitter, surprisingly, because Twitter is how I got 8 million people watching me. And if you're here from Instagram, go check out my Twitter. It's where all this madness started, and I tend to think I'm funny sometimes, so why not? And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, to like and comment and subscribe, because I'll be posting more videos now, and it'd be really fun to have so much of you coming on this wild viral experience with me. So thank you guys, bye.